Hello everyone, welcome back to the Hurricane HQ, and today we have another tropical weather forecast for the Atlantic Ocean. And this forecast is going to be from October all the way till December 1st. So this is going to be just about the outlook for the rest of hurricane season. Now before I start this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel and ring the notification bell to never miss the next weather or tropical update. Now, as you can see here, this is my personal forecast for the Atlantic Ocean and what we're going to be seeing in regards to tropics. Now, as you can see, lots of colors on this map. So, we're going to first start off with our main development region, which is located down here. Now, in the MDR, I'm mostly expecting some tropical waves. Now, I'm not saying there's going to be back-to-back lots of tropical waves. I'm just saying we have the potential to be seeing some tropical waves moving through this area, mostly in this eastern or western direction. So they're gonna go from east to west, and they actually have the potential to become tropical systems as they enter the Caribbean area and possibly even the Gulf. Although I'm not expecting any more hurricanes. I mean, maybe a Category 1 is possible somewhere within this orange region or somewhere over here. But honestly, I think it's mostly going to be tropical storms as we wrap up this year. Now, for, again, the main development region, I'm mainly just going to say tropical waves for this area because there is not much that's going to be happening in this area other than tropical waves. I don't expect any tropical systems to really form. Maybe a weak tropical depression, if anything, but I think mostly invests and tropical waves. Now, as we move on westward to our Caribbean area, in this area, I'm actually predicting a tropical storm or two possibly could be happening. And for this area, I'm just going to make it like this. I'll consider this area as the Caribbean. This area right here, I'm saying there could be a tropical storm or two potentially, maybe a tropical depression, maybe a strong tropical storm, but I'm not expecting any hurricanes or anything like that for the remainder of the year. Now, tropical storms are still a threat. There can be very strong winds up to 70 miles per hour in tropical storms with gusts even to hurricane force. So don't think that the season is completely over and done for hazardous weather and hazardous tropical storms, because these still could continue through October and potentially even into November. Now, I think it's going to slowly get less and less likely as October goes on for any strong storms, but I think maybe early to mid-October. I know it's already starting to get into mid-October, but we have the potential to see a few tropical storms, especially in the MDR, well, I mean west of the MDR. Now in the Gulf, I think this is where we're, I would say it's kind of a battle zone. I'm going to say maybe a few tropical storm landfalls, because if any tropical storms do form, you say it's here, it has to hit somewhere in the Gulf. Unless it makes like a full turn, it has to impact land somewhere. So this, if there was a storm, it would most likely impact Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, or Mexico. Although I'm not expecting any long track tropical systems that form in the MDR and then head this way and then eventually into the Gulf. I'm thinking more of a storm that forms closer to home is going to wrap up the season. Maybe a few storms popping up here and then eventually moving into the Gulf or moving this direction. But I think the Gulf should watch out because the tropic season is not over yet. We have the potential to see a few tropical storms possibly in the Gulf, but other than that, I'm not expecting anything major. No hurricanes, maybe one at max, but I'm not expecting anything too strong. So, yeah. Now as we move on to the eastern seaboard, now this is a pretty interesting area to track. So, there's going to be a lot of, well, what I can say is there's going to be a lot of storms in this area. I'm not saying there's going to be a lot of hurricanes or tropical storms, but I think storms are going to start in the MDR, potentially move through the Caribbean area, and then actually move into this green area here, and could head this way, potentially impacting I would say, actually, I'll actually color this in pink. I would say the East Coast is at risk. I'd say Canada, these areas, that is where you really got to watch out for maybe a tropical storm or subtropical storm landfall this season. Although, I don't think the East Coast is really going to be seeing landfalls. I think they could be impacted by outer bands of storms. Maybe if one went really close to the East Coast, it could do some damage, or potentially if something did something like Sandy, although I'm not expecting that. We could see a Sandy pulled on the East Coast like this, or something like that. But obviously, I don't think that there's going to be a Sandy this year, as Sandy is a one-time thing. We're most likely not going to be seeing that anytime soon, although it's not out of the question. So basically, overview of this green area, a few tropical or subtropical storms. So I would say anywhere from like the border of North and South Carolina to the north, this is all going to be subtropical. And then over here is going to be mostly tropical, although I would say somewhere in this area is going to be the border of subtropical and tropical. It really just depends on the storm's characteristics. A storm could be considered subtropical if it's here, and will most likely be subtropical here. So it really just depends on the characteristics of the storm. Now, regarding strong tropical storms or the intensity, if a storm did impact the East Coast, I'm not expecting an Isaias. I'm not expecting really anything too strong. Maybe a weak 40 mile per hour, 50 mile per hour, maybe max 60 mile per hour tropical storm could happen, but I'm not expecting anything like Isaias or anything like that, which held its strength for a long time. I think most of the storms are going to be fish storms if there are any storms, and they'd mostly be subtropical. Because I know it's getting pretty cold out. The ocean temperatures are going to start decreasing pretty soon, if they aren't already. So it's the border between subtropical and tropical is just moving south at this point. I would say it used to be here or here, but now it's going down to like South Carolina, North Carolina area. So it really just depends on the characteristics, as I've been saying like this entire video. So East Coast, still got to watch out for me, one or two tropics or tropical storms, but other than that, I think it's mostly going to be remnants possibly. Like I know there's one currently going to head through Texas, could impact the East Coast somewhere, like that. But yeah, I think remnants is really going to be what the eastern United States gets, whether it comes from the ocean or just through the U.S. somehow. It's mostly going to be just remnants and stuff. Now, I know the GFS has been showing a possible nor'easter for the East Coast. Now, not a snow nor'easter, just a rain nor'easter. So that is another thing we have to watch out for. And that's going to actually start firing up pretty soon, the nor'easter season, as winter is getting pretty close, I must say. It is already the middle of October, and it's only a few months away in December. So, yeah, we're not that far out, and things are going to start cooling down in the tropics, at least for the eastern United States. I can't say the same for the Gulf or anything like that. I would say anywhere to the south of this line, you have to pay more attention to the tropics, as is where you have a higher chance of seeing some stuff. But yeah. Now, in this area, I'm not going to put too much coverage of the Central Atlantic or Central North Atlantic over here. But for this area, I'm basically going to say average tropical and subtropical activity. Maybe one or two storms from the MDR could push up and be like this or like that. Maybe a tropical storm or two or subtropical storm. But honestly, I don't think there's going to be anything above average or below average in this area. I'm just going to go with an average for this area over here. Now, over here, above, let's just say this black line I'm about to draw right here, north of this black line, I'm actually labeling this as extratropical heaven. There's going to be a lot, or any storm that actually moves this way, if it's tropical or subtropical, will most likely be extratropical as it enters this area up here. So I'm calling this extratropical heaven because there's going to be a lot of extratropical cyclones and post-tropical cyclones in that area. Or basically anything that happens over here would most likely head over there. So that area is something to watch for some tropical systems, or at least extratropical systems, because that is really what they usually get up there. Now, it's not really a new thing where they get a lot of extratropical storms. That's why I'm kind of putting it in the middle of average and extratropical heaven. It's kind of the same kind of area here, same kind of bubble. So it's going to be average, but still lots of extratropical storms, and parts of Canada should watch out for those extratropical things, along with Iceland and Greenland. Now, I know some tracks or storm tracks bring storms in September and October along the East Coast or in the middle of the Atlantic, but I think they're mostly going to be remaining offshore. So any impacts to the East Coast are going to be most likely outer bands, like we saw with our previous invest, which actually went like that. It brought some hazardous marine conditions and stuff like that to the East Coast. So I think things like that is going to happen and stuff like that, but nothing too strong. Now, that is my full Atlantic forecast for the rest of the year. I might post another one at the end of October or in November just to wrap up what's going to be happening. Although I think by then the tropics will be just about over because hurricane season ends in late November. So I'm not saying there's not going to be any hurricanes. I'm just saying the chances of them are going down. I'm not saying it's impossible. If there was a hurricane, it'd be somewhere south of this line. So there, you still got to watch out, but I think mostly strong tropical storms south of that line. Now, thank you everyone for watching this video. Hope everyone found it informative. And just remember that this is not an official forecast. This is my personal forecast based on previous years and also based on a few different models. So, yeah, thank you so much everyone for watching this video. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel and ring the notification bell if you don't want to miss any future uploads. And if you want to have all the latest weather information, even when I don't post on YouTube, because I haven't been posting as much lately. If you want all that information, I actually recommend you head to my Twitter page. The link is in the description below. And on Twitter, I post daily all the latest weather information, so you'll never miss anything big that's happening that I don't cover in a video. Now, thank you for watching again, and I hope everyone has an amazing rest of their day.